Hi, welcome back to Future Shop Technologies. It's Gina Joy this side. So today I just came here to discuss. We are going to start a new series on robotics programming, especially for the beginners. So I'll be using Arduino microcontroller. Most of we are aware what is this Arduino, or maybe if you are not aware about it, so we'll be discussing in detail what is an Arduino microcontroller, how a beginner need to start with it, how to program a microcontroller, how to use different components with Arduino microcontroller, and finally how to make some interesting robotic projects on this platform. So here I'll be using a complete simulator platform that says Tinkercad, right? So that will be easy for the beginners without destroying much components. You will learn what is robotics. Okay, so let's get started. So this entire series we are going to divide into two things. First is the block coding and second is the text coding. Why I am just using block coding for the initial lectures, the reason is that if the kids are not aware about any text coding, if they haven't done anything, so they shouldn't feel that it's very tough task and they want to learn text coding if they want to make a robot. That's not true. Even using the block coding, if you know the real concepts of robotics, if you know how to handle a microcontroller and what's the purpose of handling, what's the purpose of using a microcontroller, and how to interface different electronic components, right? How to connect it basically. So that basic electronic design and a little bit of microcontroller programming through the block coding interface is just enough to make some interesting project. So in the first few lessons, I'll be talking what is this Arduino microcontroller is all about, what is its role in robotics, and what's the purpose of using any microcontroller, not only Arduino, any microcontroller. What's the purpose of using that with some electronic circuit or with a robotic circuit? So that we'll be discussing at first, right? So here I'll be focusing on little bit of the basic components, like what is an LED and what are the basic sensors and how the sensors are working and how we are going to read the data from the sensors and how we are going to interface that with the Arduino and how we are going to control some output devices like LEDs or motors with the sensor data. So this entire things will get discussed in the initial classes, right? So you'll be learning what is digital input and what is analog inputs and what's the difference between this digital and analog inputs basically, and few more output devices like LEDs and motors, how we are going to control them, right? So here, like in Tinkercad platform itself, you will be able to get multiple DC motors and there are some servo motors. So we'll be discussing on that. Even with block coding, how to control them. So that's the initial things. That's what I plan. Then later on, then I'll be introducing you the text coding, the real text coding. How we are going to write the program using the same components what we used in block coding. The same things how we are going to program using the real text coding. Okay. So for that you should learn little bit of the coding basics. Here we will be using the C++ programming and lot of libraries are available already for Arduino. That's the only reason why we are introducing Arduino programming for the beginners, especially the kids. We'll be introducing about the text coding. So we will be using C++ programming here, embedded C++. That is little bit different with the normal C++. Here the reason is that here we will be more interacting to the hardware, right? So as I already discussed, there are a lot of components which we are going to connect with the Arduino microcontroller. So we should know what are the different components and how we are going to read some data or how we are going to write some data. So all this is directly connected to this with the C++ programming. So the kids has to learn little bit of basic text coding. Maybe right now a few people are already aware about Python, the basic Python or basic C programming. So it's not much huge difference. So I'll be talking about that, and here lot of libraries are already there. So that will be helping you to make some better projects with each and everything. For example, if you're using a keypad or servo motor, lots of library functions are there. So we just want to use that function. We don't want to create everything from the scratch. That's the benefit. That's the only reason I thought we'll be doing the series first, and once you're comfortable in this, then we can go to the advanced thing. Then we can go to the advanced microcontroller, or maybe even I can introduce you how to program the robot with the Python coding, right? So all these things we'll be discussing. So here in the series itself, I am expecting at least minimum we'll be doing 30 videos, right? So if you are patient enough to watch this 30 videos regularly, okay, maybe I think I will be doing this in alternative days. So I'll be shooting the videos in alternative days. So if you are able to watch this in a regular way, and you can ask me whatever doubt you have, you can ask me in the comments. So I'll try to reply on that. And maybe in the next class, okay, if I'm getting more doubts in certain session, I can Like I can keep a separate doubt clearing sessions, like what's your most doubt is about, like on certain topics maybe. Especially I am expecting kids will be having more doubt in their coding part, right? Because I am doing this courses lively. I am teaching like live classes for students. Like they are like the kids from the age 8, they started learning Arduino microcontroller programming, and they are like doing good enough. So I hope like maybe whoever is watching this playlist, they are in that age group and they will be able to do that. No doubt, if you are like spending enough time on that, of course you are able to do that. Okay, yeah, then later on let's see what else we can do on this, right?